Have you ever felt utterly used or unappreciated when you know that you've done your very best? Or have you ever had this intense anger towards someone for overstepping clear boundaries that you've set for yourself? If you've answered yes to any of these questions, then it means that you are 100% human and that you have been the victim of abuse in one form or another. Welcome to my channel here at Vugasiswe, where we will be discussing in detail issues of abuse in relation to crime and also in relation to individuals generally. It will be a prelude to other installments where we will discuss it in more detail. Welcome to my channel. I greet each and every one of you that has tuned in from around the world. A special shout out to my president, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, and also each and every individual that has made it their life's purpose to combat crime. Welcome. Your efforts are not in vain. So let us commence with the topic of today. In my life, I have been the victim of and I have been subjected to many forms of abuse from a very, very young age, as far back as I can remember. And likewise, I too have been the perpetrator of abuse towards others during the course of my life. So, what is abuse? What does it mean? Well, if you look it up in the dictionary, there are so many various definitions for it, like harm, disrespect, vilification, belittlement. The list is endless. But based on what I have been through personally and all the various types of abuses that I have suffered in my life, I have only one way to describe abuse. For me, it is a feeling of intense betrayal. Because essentially, abuse is the breaking of trust. Trust that you will be loved and treasured in the same way that you do to others in your daily walk. In South Africa, we have a word called Ubuntu. And it describes the essential qualities that is instilled within each of us, that is imbibed in our DNA. The qualities of compassion and humanity. When you are continuously subjected to abuse over longer periods of time, whether directly or indirectly, then your sense of your view of Ubuntu becomes wholly and totally distorted. You start building defense mechanisms against those type of abuses to such an extent where people who don't know you will consider you cold-hearted because they don't know of the internal struggles that you are dealing with. Generally, dealing with issues of abuse in our lives is not considered a pleasant topic. But let me tell you, it is so much more liberating and rewarding to deal with it than to not deal with it and to keep quiet about it. Because it is precisely the issue of not dealing with the issues of abuse and keeping things bottled up that leads to other more serious issues such as suicide, depression, self-isolation, and so many other issues that can be avoided by speaking out. It can be overcome by speaking to the right people. So in support of this narrative of dealing with issues of abuse, I will provide you with toll-free numbers that you can call 24/7 at any time of the day or night, and it's for free within the borders of South Africa. The first number that I would like to share with you is for the National Shelter Movement of South Africa, and they deal with gender-based violence. And let me also just point out that gender-based violence doesn't necessarily mean one group of people or a select group of people. Yes, the onus is on women and children, but even men suffer abuse. So it doesn't matter what your sexual orientation is. Phone this number if you are a victim of gender-based violence. There's also 3 cell phone numbers where you can either send an SMS or a WhatsApp or even send them a please call me, because they will contact you. Then my second line of communication for abuse would be the child line number, which I think is very, very important, which is also toll free, and children can speak to a counselor, or they can just simply want to reach out to someone whereby they want to share the pain or whatever experience it is that they are going through. Another number is also for gender-based violence, but it also includes sexual offenses. So if you are a victim suffering anything to that nature, then please do call this number. Then the next number is it's a domestic helpline, domestic violence helpline. So if you are experiencing issues within your home where you are being abused, you are being beaten, you are being ill-treated, whether mentally or physically, even financially, if you are being belittled in any way or harmed in any way in a domestic scene, in a domestic setup, then please do call this number. And then the last number I feel that I need to include is a HIV and AIDS helpline, because I do believe that people suffer a whole lot of abuses around HIV through peer pressure and stigmatization and all of those related issues. So if you need to speak to someone, please call these numbers. Contact any of these numbers at any time. They really, in this age of technology, there really is no reason for anybody to suffer alone in silence. These numbers has been made available to us specifically for this reason. To have someone to help and to reach out to. Someone who will not judge you and who has dedicated their lives and time in helping those suffering from various abuses. Please make use of the opportunity. I've contacted these organizations through these numbers and can confirm that they are all active. If you are not comfortable discussing your issues with a stranger, you can also contact me on the number on your screen, and maybe we can start a WhatsApp group. But the most important thing is that you reach out. Take that first step towards finding yourself again. Take the initiative and stand up to abuse. Do not sit and suffer in silence. Personally, I can only speak from what I have been through and how I have come out of it on the other side, still standing. Also, I can advise you based on the various courses that I've completed, but I would advise you to rather contact these numbers, because these people are trained and they are waiting for your call. They are waiting for you to speak, for them to be able to help you, because that is why they are there. Suffering in silence is only going to lead you to a point where you feel desperate and you may end up harming yourself or others. So I reiterate, please speak out and stand up against abuse. You are not alone in what you are going through. There are millions suffering because of abuse. And it is not acceptable. It is not something that you can be okay with, because we are all human. And we all want to be respected and loved. Thank you very much for taking the time out and for tuning in. Stay tuned for my next installment, where I will delve a little deeper into these issues of abuse. Don't forget to hit the subscribe icon, and also please, very importantly, share these videos to others for whom it might make all the difference between survival and giving up. God bless.